All right, we are live. I don't know, is it a bit too dark? Is it too dark? Should I turn on a light somewhere? I think I should probably turn on a light. 1 second. There we go. That's a bit better. That is a bit better. The light definitely helps. Hope everyone having a. I can't even speak right now. Hope everyone is having a great Sunday. I don't know if you guys have checked out my Sunday sealed edition of my market mover videos. That's where I'm going to take the weekend market mover videos. Apart from, I had the weekend winners that were essentially focusing on like modern cards, standard cards, and cards that went up and down in value. I wanted to focus just on sealed, and I think that's a better place for that every Sunday. Sunday sealed. I kind of like the name of that too. I kind of like the sound of it. So I'm going to stick with that for now. But we have 6 viewers, right? 7. Wow, that shot up real quick. Morning, Matt. Well, it's not morning here. 2 o'clock. Just about. Wayne, early today. Yeah. So I wanted to do it early just in case I had plans later in the day. It's a long weekend here, so this Sunday it's more like a Saturday because we have a civic holiday on Monday. So I wanted to do this stream early just in case it goes on longer than expected. So I wanted to see what everyone thought about the video today, the Sunday Sealed. I want to get some feedback from that, and also just answer any questions people might have, as well as potentially crack open a few booster packs. As I always crack them open whenever there's a super chat or member joining the channel. So hope everyone is doing good. Blue Ridge Silverhound says, morning for me, man. On my 3rd cup of coffee. Whew. I had only 1 cup of coffee today, but I did wake up a lot later than I normally would. That being 8:30. To me, that's very early. Very late, I mean, sorry. I usually wake up at 6:30. Working from home helps. Before, it was definitely at least half an hour, 45 minutes earlier than that. But I usually go through 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day. My average is probably 2, but weekends sometimes it's only 1 coffee, and then I trade the coffee for a beer or something a little harder than that later on a weekend. But what do you guys drink? Are you tea drinkers, coffee drinkers? What do you prefer? Let me know in the chat. I know some people don't drink coffee at all. I didn't have my first cup of coffee until I was in my mid-20s, believe it or not. I wasn't a big coffee drinker. I've had a few sips here and there. I just wasn't a fan of the flavor. I drank tea, but tea just didn't really cut it. At a certain age, when you were getting more, you're consistently waking up earlier and earlier for work, tea was just not cutting anymore, and I had to switch to coffee. And then now, I'm pretty much addicted to coffee now. I need it every single day. Wayne says, I like the booster box movers, but I don't know how much value people will get from in-print box movers. Yeah, if it's in print, right, like if it's not, if the machines haven't stopped printing these sets, that's true, that's fair. Yeah, well, that's something to take note. So I'm open to changing things up a bit. I like getting some feedback from you guys. Right now, I like the Sunday Seal just because I don't think there's anyone else who really talks about booster boxes price movements much on YouTube. Obviously, we see a lot of people talking about singles going up and down. Like my channel is one of them, but there's a lot more channels than that do talk about that. Wayne says, always tea from the Englishman. Yeah, fair enough. There is some teas that are quite strong that would definitely rival coffee, but I just feel like there's something about coffee that gives me that extra kick as well. Blue Ridge Silverhound says, my wife and I do tea, but that's more of an evening thing for us. Yeah, I mean, it's more of a way to wind down too. Tea can be calming as well, not just, make you focus and give you energy like coffee would. But tea, it is interesting because I like tea. Well, I have a British background, and I used to love tea all the way until I started consistently working earlier and earlier, and then it's just something about tea. Maybe I should try it though in the evening. Maybe that's something I could try instead of beer or wine. Maybe it'll be a lot healthier. I know on the liver at least. I heavily researched and purchased some MetaZoo this weekend. Yeah, right. And Rudy from Alpha Investments, he did a video on MetaZoo. I saw it in my subscription feed, but I didn't end up watching it. Looks interesting though, MetaZoo. How did you enjoy it? Yeah, I just typed it in on YouTube right now, and I'm seeing a lot of people who have opened it. Wow, I got Power 9 Quest. He's opened it. I reached out to him for to be on the Mattcast. He never replied back, so that sucks. I see we got Red Zone Rogue Alpha Investments. He's done a few videos on MetaZoo. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to watch a few of those videos later on when I have some time. The sealed box market video could be a monthly report for you. Don't know how big the market moves for that asset on a weekly basis. Yeah, and they definitely don't shoot up as much as single card prices do. A lot of them are like, if it moves even by 3%, that's pretty large for a booster box. So I could do it as a monthly thing, maybe at the end or beginning of the month. I'm going to have to fine tune it. Obviously, my daily movers, those are consistent, but I want to definitely try something different on the weekends and then see what sticks. So far, none of the weekend winner, or even Sunday sealed, I guess the video today, really seem to be doing well in the algorithm. Whatever I end up doing as my main source for weekend market update video, whichever one basically gets the most views in the algorithm, like most consistent views, most watch time, I'll probably just stick with that, and that'll be my that'll be what I'll do on weekends from now on. So I'm still definitely open to changing it. I personally like the sealed Sundays, but we'll see. I'm open to suggestions in the comments. Wayne Jordan says, it's going to be very familiar for MTG players. Unlike Flesh and Blood, as MTG player, I was easily able to determine how playable a card is. Interesting. Okay. I see the look of the cards are, I don't know. They look a lot like Flesh and Blood, like just looking at some of the cards, but a little more colorful. Good day from Germany. Hey, guten Tag. We have Blue Ridge Silverhound says MetaZoo seems to have a bigger anticipated launch than Flesh and Blood, which is unusual. Yeah, there has been a lot more marketing around MetaZoo. I wonder what the print run is. Is there any numbers out there? Does anyone know how many boxes were printed? You guys can comment in the chat. I'm sure there's a few local game stores in my city that are going to be carrying it. I do like the weekly, monthly change. This helps people see trends that may be starting to show. Yeah, especially in booster boxes, because they usually move slower. So there could be a trend there. 25,000 sealed first edition booster boxes. Wow. That's not much at all. Yeah, so they have the numbers on Kickstarter, so it was a campaign. Right. So 2,500 Kickstarter boxes, then 25,000. Am I getting that right? Wow, that's interesting, because if that game kicks, like it really ends up being big, if you got in on the Kickstarter boxes, those could really go up in value, just like we've seen with Flesh and Blood. Oh, Brandon is in the chat as well, one of the channel members. Do you get metrics on impressions from YouTube? Do you know what an impression is? Yes, we do. So basically, an impression is if your video shows up in someone's feed, that's an impression. Whether or not they click it, that's really up to them. But as long as the videos are going out there and reaching people, that is an impression, as far as I know. But yeah, I do get those analytics on YouTube. All right, we're at 3 likes. Can we get to 10 likes? We got 12 in the chat right now. Wayne Jordan, and it's basically has the Power 9. Okay, that's cool. Okay, if they have essentially a Power 9 for MetaZoo, I'm really interested. I'm going to have to maybe do a deep dive into this. Maybe I'll even do a video on MetaZoo. I haven't done much research. I've been busy with work and market movers into the channel. But I definitely want to look into that further, because that is crazy. 2,500 boxes on Kickstarter. And there's a lot of people who are looking to leave MTG. Not me, but I know there is a lot of people who are upset with Wizards of the Coast, and I can't blame them. Well, at Power 11, 10 boxes, and the Lotus. Yeah. Wow. That's a lot of power. That is a lot of power, Wayne. So MetaZoo. So the biggest video, the Reverse God box. And Power 9. Actually, no, the Alpha Investments video has got a lot more views than that. Yes, I just can't get over the colors, how bright it is. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I feel like now I want to research more MetaZoo stuff. MetaZoo Booster Box Canada. Can you buy it here? You can buy it online. It looks like at Hobbiesville. Oh, it's sold out. Never mind. I do like that they even have the first edition logo at the bottom. It kind of reminds me of Pokemon. Even Yu-Gi-Oh, they would have that as well. Not so much Magic the Gathering, though. They never really were into the whole first edition things. Check out Chaos Crystal. That's basically a Lotus for MetaZoo. Chaos Crystal. Yeah, I'll check that out right now, Wayne. Zero. So it's got 0 at the top. Is that what it costs? And there's 25 at the side. 31 out of 159 at the bottom there. I'm assuming that's the set number. That's the card number. Chaos Crystal, 1 per spellbook artifact. So you can only have 1 per deck, I guess, as a spellbook is a deck. You may fatigue this page at any time to generate 3 aura of any type. That's literally Black Lotus. That's hilarious. You may fatigue. So fatigue is like tapping this page instead of artifact at any time to generate 3 aura of any type. No kidding, Wayne. No kidding. That literally is a Black Lotus. And I'm assuming this is a rare. It does have a little hologram at the bottom there. And it's on TCG Player. People can purchase this using my link even. But wow, $500 plus shipping. Wow. Can you get these in foil as well? I don't see anything that's stating foil prices. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's only non-foil. Huh, interesting. Have you thought about packing your bulk and selling them to stores? I have so much bulk. It's literally all around my computer right now. I have stacks. I have long boxes, fat packs, full of bulk. I don't know. I'm kind of holding on to some of it. I've definitely sold some in the past. Right now, I'm looking mostly just to hold on to it and maybe teach people how to play. I have a nephew and 2 nieces that I want to teach them how to play Magic. So I might get them to start building their own decks once I teach them the basics of the game, the fundamentals. But yeah, I don't know. I go through my bulk once in a while just to organize it. Sometimes I'll take a few cards out if I want to make a popper deck or anything like that. But not really. No real plans with my bulk right now. Wayne says, and you will see as an MTG player, it's very simple. Yeah, it looks pretty simple. It looks a lot like Magic, more than Flesh and Blood. Wayne Jordan says page means card. Okay, card. Interesting. Blue Ridge says, is there a difference from a Kickstarter Chaos Crystal compared to the first edition version of the same card? Ooh, that'd be... Yeah, I guess there would have to be, right? If 25, I mean, price point, if you're going 25,000 versus 2,500, that's a pretty big difference. Wayne, yes, Kickstarter cards have a QR code. Yeah, so I noticed the QR code at the bottom and a little K at the bottom right of the image. Like I say, I researched it quite heavily this weekend. No kidding, Wayne. Well, thanks for that information. That's really cool. Chaos Crystal, basically Black Lotus. I might even talk about that in a video. Maybe I'll talk about MetaZoo and then just talk about Chaos Crystal and how it's basically a Black Lotus, like how you were saying earlier. Crazy. I wanted to make myself look extra Canadian today, if you can tell by my plaid. And 10 moxes that you can have per deck. Okay, so they limit. So it's almost like they've done what they do with Black Lotus essentially with almost every format, where they limit the amount of copies you're allowed to have in a deck. So it's like right away they know it's a very powerful card, and they're trying to preemptively make the design of the game a little more balanced. Now, here's the thing. I didn't do any research yet. What's the amount of cards you can have per deck? Is it a playset? Is it like just like Magic where you can have up to 4 copies, or is it up to 2 or 3? Or can you have like unlimited amount of a particular card? Yeah, anyway, back to MGG. Oops, I just started talking about MetaZoo again, though. Yeah, wow. All cards are different. So you can only have one of each card. Doesn't matter what it is. So it's like a Brawl or a Commander deck. I played in the past tournaments with my former play group called 100% Recycling. It's 100 cards from everyone, and all drafting from in with some special rules. Interesting. So for bulk, that's what you do. Playing a tournament and winner takes all. Not bad. That's actually a good idea, and then everyone just takes the bulk if they win. Wayne Jordan says just under the card name, it says how many are allowed in your deck spellbook. Just under the card name. Yeah, so it says 1 per spellbook. So does it all change though? Like some cards, it can be more than 1 per spellbook, or is it one of those weird things where it's the rules you're allowed to have? Because that would be really interesting if every card is different and it's a case by case kind of basis. Like it's like, well, this card you can have up to 7 copies, this one up to 2 copies, 1 copy. That's interesting. It's definitely way more unique than Magic in that regard. I wonder how people are going to build decks with those. That's crazy. I mean, I can see that being a little bit confusing at first when it comes to building decks, but I guess the information is right there on the card. It's going to be interesting brewing decks. I find if each card has a certain limit. Wayne says Moxes are 2 per deck, so a little bit. Okay, so a little more than your Chaos Crystal. Hey, Frank is in the house. Frank Lotus, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. We are all having fun on this live stream, chatting with everyone. Sandro says, hey, Matt, love all your content. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Sandro. I'm glad you enjoy my videos. They do take a lot of work, but I want to actually make them better and better. I want to make sure that I don't get lazy with my content. I want to actually improve. So some of the money that I'll be making on AdSense or Patreon, I'm going to be putting back into the channel. I do need to get a new computer. So that is something like this computer today. It took me forever to put out that weekend video, the Sunday sealed, a lot longer than it should have. So this computer is almost kaput. So I will have to reinvest in the channel that way. Camera-wise, my camera's okay. I would like to get a new camera, but I'm actually not going to get a new camera for now, at least not my DSLR. I am going to get a new phone, though, hopefully this year, just for like, if I'm on the run and I don't have my camera with me, if I'm at a thrift store or something, or if I'm out somewhere and I want to like film something quickly, if I see something Magic related, I can just kind of whip my phone out and get better video quality from that. So that's partly going to be invested back in the channel. And also just more like stuff to open up, right? Like I just need more, because I have my sealed stuff, then I'll buy sealed product and keep that aside as an investment, but I want to get more for the channel to open up. But I always have some booster backs lying around, obviously, for anyone to do super chats. So that's kind of one of my things for live streams, and anyone who becomes a channel member, I crack a pack in celebration. Hi-Fi says, I'm going to hold off on MetaZoo and see if it is successful. I'm still a fan of Keyforge, yeah, and that's the Andrew, what's it called? Richard Garfield. I was about to say Andrew Garfield, not Spider-Man. He invented that game too. But it's hard to play and find others to play against. Mm-hmm. Mick D. Master says, sup, Matt? I'm on vacation so I can watch your live. Well, that's great. Hopefully it's a well-deserved vacation. I was just on a vacation last weekend up at a cottage, and we ended up going to a hot tub. We kind of so this small town had like one street of a few bars, but it's still kind of been like lockdown here in Toronto, so there wasn't really much to do. But it was nice to get away from like a busy city like Toronto. It was just the traffic in Toronto it was a nightmare getting out of the city. But once we're out of the city, it was like, oh, thank God, we're driving. You know, it's a nice hour and a half drive after. It takes about an hour out of Toronto, hour and a half after. And oh wow, we got a nice super chat here. Wow, very generous. Thank you, Blue Ridge. Okay, so we're gonna crack open a pack. What pack should we crack? It's up to you. We got Dominaria Cons, and we also have Zendikar Rising. So, whichever one you'd like to see opened, I highly recommend a Cons, though, because that does contain fetch lands. That could be really cool to see that. Wayne says, I know what you mean at Hi-Fi. I've been waiting to try other games for a while, but without other people wanting to play them, it's hard. Oh, yeah. You know what? Stores are finally opening up, like, to in-game store like capacity to play events in Toronto next week. So I'm going to do a vlog, first time back at a store playing a sealed event. It's gonna be interesting. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully I'm allowed to. I'm pretty sure I'd be allowed to film. I will be using a cell phone for this one. I'm not gonna be like walking around with my DSLR camera filming everything, not being that intrusive. But Okay, so you're giving me the option to pick. Okay, thank you so much, Silverhound. We're gonna open up a Cons of Tarkir pack. Thanks for all the reports, Matt, and overall body of work. Well, thank you so much. You have a really great channel as well, by the way. I do watch your content. So anyone if you're looking to invest in silver, he does great coin updates. So check that out. Some are a lot rarer than you think. So we're starting off with an Act of Treason, a Tusk Colossedon, a Sage Eye Harrier. We have a Trumpet Blast. Hey, Jake, how's it going? Dutiful Return. We got a Whirlwind Adept. Blossoming Sands, good dual land for Pauper. Ponyback Brigade. We got a Teamer Banner, taps for 3. Rite of the Serpent. I almost said Rite of Replication. Mistfire Weaver. Then we have a Swarm of Bloodflies, a Dead Drop, and what is it going to be? Ooh, it's not a land, but it is a Mardu Ascendancy, one of the enchantments. So whenever a non-token creature you control attacks, put a 1/1 red goblin creature token on the battlefield, tapped and attacking, and you can sacrifice his enchantments, and creatures you control get +0/+3 until end of turn. That just kind of defeats the purpose. You know, it's an aggro deck. You're generating 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, but you can sacrifice this card to make them have stronger toughness. That is not a good card. I mean, I guess you could situationally. I mean, it helps. I don't know. That's a really bad card. That's a really bad card. That is rough. Yeah, yikes, that was a bad card. But you know what? Thanks so much for letting me crack that pack in celebration. Really helps the channel out, Blue Ridge. All these super chats are going to go back into the channel. I am going to even get a new webcam. This one, it's not the best quality. I'm hoping to upgrade that even as well by the end of this year. Hopefully, like I'll buy myself a bunch of new gear for Christmas, and all of these super chats will help with that. Thank you so much. All right. We got a few chats I missed. Wayne says, oh, I have a nice silver stack. What's the channel? I will take a look. Blue Ridge says, token strategies card, not a great one, but yeah, good for token strategies. That's really it, but even still, it just feels counterintuitive to what you want to be doing. With like a Mardu deck, I feel like you need to be more aggro than that. I mean, sacrificing it to give your creatures more toughness sounds. I mean, even if it was the other way around, maybe it'd be better. You sacrifice it, and all your creatures get +3/+0. That could be pretty good. You know, especially if your creatures have trample, that would be really good. David Solari is in the house. Hello, all. Hey, David. Glad you could make this live stream. Love everything you do. They can't all be winners. They definitely cannot all be winners. Jake says, thanks for the gift, Matt. Oh, well, no problem, man. Honestly. Yeah, hopefully next set that comes out, one of the Innistrad sets, I'll do another collector booster box opening for everyone, and I'll sell the packs. I know the set's going to be better than Dungeons and Dragons Adventures of Forgotten Realm, 100%. So hopefully, hopefully we actually, get some good EV on that box. But we'll see. We'll see. What do you think of the new D&D set? Not a fan personally, but I actually would have rather seen a core set. I think I like core sets. Value-wise, they're not so good, but they have a lot of the evergreen staples. They're usually easier to play, easier to teach people how to play Magic, and a lot of them, like, I think, are undervalued. Like core set 2021 was amazing, one of the best core sets there was ever made, and then they just canceled to do D&D, which is a set that was underpowered, overvalued in terms of how much they were selling it for. Not a fan. None of the, like, I play Modern is like my main format that I like to play. I like Pauper too, but none of those cards were really like struck me as anything I want to see being played in Modern. No decks that I would want to put those cards into. No decks I want to build anything around. So I wasn't a big fan of it, really. Blue Ridge says it's a fun set. It needs more D&D expansions to buy the AFR set just as released. There are a couple of good cards. Old Gnawbone has been, Old Gnawbone's great. I like the treasure ones. It's pretty good. That's a great card for Commander, 100%. But then again, I feel like every set's going to have good Commander cards. So there's going to be a few cards that are going to be good in Commander, but Modern, so if a set has a lot of good Modern cards for financial value, that's better because you need usually play sets for Modern cards. So there's a higher demand, like the people, they need to spend more to buy more copies. So it pushes the prices up. Versus Commander, you only need one copy of a card. So there's going to be really deflationary pressures on the boxes. People just need one card of something, right? It's not, when you need a play set of something, that's totally different. That's why a good land cycle usually pushes box prices up further into the future. Especially like things with fetch lands, shock lands, you need multiple, well, especially fetch lands. You need like a play set. So last core set had, the last core set had Ugin. Ugin or Ugin? What do you guys say? I say Ugin. But you know what? That card was, look at like, so that was a mythic. It was around $70 before core sets 2021, and then it dropped down to about $30, $35 right now. So that's, that's what reprints do, especially for cards of that stature. You're looking to put a card like that in a standard set. As much as I liked it, I had like a play set of Ugin, and that kind of hurt the wallet a little bit to see that price drop. But it is, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it is a game, and it makes sense that they had to find a way to reprint it, and they already did reprint a few cards. It was a great opportunity to build Tron. If you remember, around Core Set 2021, we had like Wormcoil Engine was reprinted, I think. Recently, we had Karn was reprinted in Double Masters. We got the Tron lands in Double Masters. You could have built Tron at like last summer. You could have built that Modern deck for like $200, $250. So that was a great time for people to get into Modern. I know some people hate Tron though, but I don't mind Tron. Jake says, I really appreciate the treasure hunt you went on that thrift store. Yes, I know. It's so nice to see creators in reality. Yeah, I want to do more like that. It is Toronto traffic is a nightmare. And like, if I have to go like all around the city, there is about 8 Valley Villages in total. I did 4, but within the Toronto, like the whole, I don't know about GTA, but Toronto in general, there's about 8 Valley Villages, which is one of the main stores that I go to. And I could do another video like that, but I'm hoping the next time I do, I actually find Magic cards. That was when I went out to film that video in my head. Like I was like, oh, there's no way I'm not going to find a single stack of Magic cards or anything. I usually do okay if I go to 4 stores, but unfortunately there was no Magic cards to be seen in that video, and that kind of sucked. But maybe I'll take you guys along. If I go to 8, there's no way there's not at least going to be one store that has Magic cards. Even if they had Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh, that could make for a more interesting video, because then at the end of the thrift store hunt, I could go back to the office space here and film the opening of the cards that I just got, and then, you know, obviously to calculate the value. That would make for a lot better video. I was hoping that would happen, and sadly it didn't, though. Maybe next time. Blue Ridge says, some of the Modern Horizons 2 fetch lands have been slowly creeping upward. Knew that low price wasn't going to last. Yeah. I made a video specifically about the fetch lands Modern Horizons 2, I think about a month ago, I think. And I said there's no way they're going under like the $20 mark. Like there's just no way. Like 20 is the absolute bottom. And then same thing for like the higher end ones. Like I was like Scalding Tarn, there's no way it's going below 30. And they kind of tested that bottom, but really once it was there, they knew it was time to buy. It's like it's not going any lower than that. Price memory kicks in. Now the prices are actually going up. And fetch lands are like the most playable land. They're the most playable lands in Magic. You know, you can fetch them for basic lands, for dual lands, for shock lands, and for other lands too. You can fetch them for tri-lands like the Triomes and Ikoria as well. So really useful lands. There's always going to be a place for fetch lands. It's just that useful. Ujin is a win button. That was no necessary reprint. Yeah, 100%. Core set 2021 was great to begin with, I think, as a set, and then once they added Ujin, like to me, I think Core set 2021 is going to age very well, especially the collector booster boxes. I mean, you have Evolving Wilds, JK. Personally, it's a fun set, but there were only a handful of popular cards from it. I do enjoy the D20 dice roll mechanic, however. Yes, that's true. I mean, that's some people don't like it, some people like it. I think it adds a little bit of fanfare to it. It's kind of cool. But yeah, the Evolving Wilds, I love the art on those Mojo lands, though. I think they're really spectacular. They really bring back that like an 80s magazine cover. I don't know. It's really cool. Sadly, they're not really holding in price at all. They're rare, too. The Mojo lands, like you don't get too many per collector box, but the prices have tanked. Mick D. Master says, I never went to Valley Village here in Montreal. I think I will try this week. Yeah, try it. Honestly, I've had pretty good luck with Valley Villages. The problem is, I feel like every time I go there, there's someone else who's pricing the products, because I'll go one day, it's like, there'll be a stack of Magic cards, and it's like $2.99 or $3.99. I'm like, okay, that's about the same pack, pack price for like a booster. Okay, sure, I'll get that. Then like some days it'll be like $9.99. And the first card is just like a basic land from like, Fate Reforged or something, right? You're like, what the heck is this? So not very good, but it happens. You just have to keep going every once in a while when you have time. If I didn't have like a full-time job and I just did YouTube, I would be doing thrift. I'd be going to thrift stores every day as part of, to keep the channel going, because those videos do really well and I enjoy making them. And it's just fun, like opening up thrift store packages is you never know what you're gonna get. It's something that's always a nice surprise. Booster pack. If you're opening booster pack from a set, like you're like Seneca Rising, you already know what the possibilities are going to be. When you're opening up something from a thrift store, it's kind of like endless. Dustin says, sup all, hope all are well. I am doing well, Dustin. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. TCG2 says, does your LGS sell grab? Yes, they do, yeah. Yeah, grab boxes, yep. Face-to-face games, they sell like it's like a big long box, and I don't know how much they sell for. I think it's like $20-something, but they'll give you a few mythics in there, a few rares, then a bunch of like, bulk commons and uncommons. It's okay. I think they even give you sleeves, card sleeves, to make like a deck with it, like a popper deck or something, whatever you can do with the cards they give you. It's like a collection starter, I think it's called, like a collection starter kit. Good for people who are getting into the game. I don't know. They're definitely not going to put enough value in there to make it worth it for players who've been playing and collecting and investing in this game for a while. But if you're a new player, I think those are pretty good. Wayne says Core 2021 is the only core set I have sealed position in. Interesting. Now, do you have, is it the, like, which type of it? Is it the regular booster boxes or is it the collector booster boxes? I think both are good. I think the collector ones are going to go up even higher, though, percentage-wise. David says, D&D is a fun set, however, the value is not there. Yeah, it's, to me, it just feels like Dragon's Maze. It's like, I know it's not, like, it should feel more like a core set, but because of all the weird mechanics, just, to me, it just feels like Dragon's Maze. Someone on the last live stream made a funny comment, made me chuckle. They said it seems like all the sets with dragons in their names don't do well financially. And that's true. It's like Dragon's Tarkir, although now it's finally starting to appreciate in price. But for a long time, it was like when you had dragons, you know, Fate Reforged, and you had Khans Tarkir, dragons was always the one that kind of like lacked in value. It kind of was always trying to catch up to the other two. So you have that, you have Dragon's Maze, and now, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, all with the name Dragon in there, right? Dustin says, I'm getting excited about the box coming your way. Should be there this week. Ooh, yeah, I almost forgot about that. Now I got something to look forward to next week. Thank you about that, Dustin. That looks that's gonna be fun. So to fill people in, what he's talking about, he bought something on eBay that he's been buying a collection like piece by piece off of someone on eBay, and every time that he's received his cards, there's a way more value than he was expecting. And the last bit of the collection, he got the seller to send it to my PO box, so it should be coming this week. I will be opening up on the channel, and I'm going to be sending all like the higher value cards to him, and everything else he's letting me keep, and I could use it for giveaways that I'll do on my channel for patrons and everyone else, and or I can like start making some janky decks with the cards that are $2 and under. So gonna be cool. So I hope you guys are gonna stay tuned for that. It's probably gonna be a while to edit the video though, because I'm gonna have to go through all the valuable cards and like put the prices out for the video. I have no one editing my video. I do all this stuff myself. So sometimes it takes a little longer than usual to put out those type of random buy videos. Okay, D&D is a fun kitchen table set. Yeah, I agree with that. That's true. Jake says, thanks, man, again for everything. I have no service at my rental, so I'll see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow, Jake, as well, for my Market Mover video. Have a good evening, buddy. Or afternoon, I guess, because it's not too late. David says, I do love the video of you traveling to the thrift store and searching in the Civic. Yeah, you noticed the Honda Civic too, eh? It's really all I could afford. This is the Honda Civic. Yeah, I mean, at least I own a car. I can't go too. I can't get too salty about it. Honda Civics are not bad. They're reliable though, so that's good. Wayne says, I only hold draft boosters because they are the only booster box that have a fundamental value. Yeah, and technically they're better for drafting. So there's more of a temptation to open it up if you have friends over who want to play, and then the supply will probably dry out. Here's the thing, because collector booster boxes, there's more incentive to keep them sealed. So there's going to be, so I think over time draft booster boxes will be opened up more and more. And especially now that Wizards, I think they're purposely trying to phase out draft booster boxes. They can start really, you know, tightening the supply on them. And if there's a lot of temptation for people to open these boxes up, there's going to be movement in the future. Blue Ridge says, it's hard to follow Modern Horizons 2, not saying D&D was doomed to fail, but you can't help but compare the two. Yeah, you can't. And, you know, like, Modern Horizons 2 is just such a good set. I knew it was going to be a good set, not just because they said there's going to be fetch lands in there, but Modern Horizons 1, apart from all the bans, was a home run of a set. A little too powerful in some ways, but it shook things up in Modern. This one didn't shake things up so much in Modern. So this one is a little more balanced, I think, than Modern Horizons 1. And then you add the fetch lands in there and just, you know, the retro frames. Oh, it's just such a good set. Really good set. And it's no surprise that, you know, the boxes are holding the price pretty well, even though there's a lot of supply out there. And they're still doing really good, all the boxes. At my LGS, the one that I go to the most, the boxes haven't went up in price. They haven't went down in price. They've just been nice and stable. So it's showing a lot of strength in the market too. All right, more comments here. Stefo says, I have been in another town for a week and didn't take any of my cards with me. I just restarted like a Timmy. Oh no, restarted the whole collection. In that local LGS with some boosters and drafts. It was really fun to restart the game at 0. Yeah, like, it's always fun to build your collection again. That's what, if you like to play the game, if you're good at playing, like I'm okay. I'm actually not. I'm okay. I'm not the greatest. I'm okay. But I'll go to events, and if you win events at your LGS, usually there's store credit they'll offer, and you can use that store credit to keep building your collection. But it does take a lot of time. But if you're enjoying the game, you're playing and you're getting cards for free. If you're winning, then it's a win-win really. More Drunken Blade says, past few weeks I've seen shops in California open up, but as of Friday, there has been a new indoor mask mandate, even if you have a vaccination card. Interesting. Actually, they're doing that here in Toronto as well. The stores, they are opening up for tournaments, but there is like a mask mandate here as well. So I feel you. We're in the same boat. Dustin says, yeah, should be a good video. Was going to ask about that. We'll take you a bit to go through them. Yeah, I don't know how big the box is going to be. We'll see. Obviously, it depends on the size of the collection that I'm opening and trying to research every card in it. Well, all the cards that I know are going to be valuable. But anyone in the video, if there's a card that I miss, please let me know because I'm going to have to ship it out to Dustin. I want to make sure he gets all the value out of this box as possible. I'm very thankful that he's actually letting me do this. Mick D. Master says, it's a good car. I got an Accord myself. Nice, not bad. I didn't even know if they still made Accords. That's what year is your car? Dustin says, Stephos, I'm not too far behind you. I'm starting back again after 20 years away from the game. You know what? Yeah. Well, if you have a lot of your cards though from back that era, there is a lot of value there. That's overwhelming but exciting at the same time to go through all those new sets. Wayne says, thought experiment. If all the MTG boxes go to 0, what will you do with them? For me, the draft boxes I will hold and have with my friends over and do draft nights. Oh, 100%. 100%, Wayne. 100%. Like, I look at them as like they are a storage of wealth. At the end of the day, it's a game too. It's like, open up, have some fun with your friends. I mean, it would suck if they go down in value, but at the end of the day, it's mostly a game. Then it's also a collectible investable at the other end of it as well. But I miss draft nights. I really want to do a draft night at my house soon. Dustin says, bought the last 4 Modern Horizons 2 boosters. They had a Walmart this morning. Wow. Haven't opened them up yet. Are these collector boosters or just the regular ones? The set I don't get why the price is so low is Commander Legends. You can hit a $600 card, extended foil Lotus, plus all the other value in the box. It's like, yeah, I know, it's crazy. You're right. Those boxes haven't really moved in price. There is a store near me that they still have a few of the collector booster boxes left. All the other ones, they're all sold out. I've been eyeing it for a while. Like, every time I go there, I'm like, shit, is today the day that I get it? Yeah, because I want to get an extra one for my collection. I might even open it up on the channel, but I'd like to keep it sealed ideally. Booger Sculptor says, my D&D order got delayed because of one SKU wasn't in yet. So I have to wait for 2 weeks extra. Holy crap. Minimum to get my boxes. Torontonian, if that matters. Oh, I'm from Toronto too. So I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Jason says, thoughts on the price increase? Seems Wizards of the Coast got rid of the MSRP so they can put it on the LGS. Yeah, I know, because then it's really all about how much you order, right? So if you're a big retailer, you're going to get a lower price if you buy as many as possible. Then it's really up to you. You can undercut, another competitor who doesn't have the type of capital to fill out a supply order like that. So it's interesting. That's why I think there's here in Toronto, there's not a lot of small LGSs. It's pretty much just like 2 big stores that are competing with each other. But yeah, I could see that. Wayne Jordan says the problem is that the set and collector booster boxes, you cannot do anything with them. Yeah, they're basically just to open. There's no functionality to them apart from that. I agree with you, Wayne. I think you're coming at it from like a logical perspective, and that makes sense. That makes sense to me. The functionality is there for the draft booster boxes, not so much for the other ones. Dustin says the Modern Horizons 2 set boosters, I think they were $11 at Wally World. That's not bad. So $11 American is like $13.50 here. That's a bit pricey for me at least. But so here set boosters are usually $9.99 or $10.99 at my LGS. So it's around the same price, but if you convert it, that's cheaper where I get them. Mick D Master 514 says I got all my cards for collecting. If it went to 0, but it did not, so my legend set is great now. Yeah, if you're getting it for collecting too, yeah, like I don't really see them being in much of a crash in the future. People look, a good example is someone was saying earlier, you know, it's been 20 years since they've been playing the game. They came back. A lot of people come back to this game. It's a game that I came back to twice, right? So there's a lot of nostalgia for people, but also it's just a great game overall. High Five says just getting back into Magic when Kaldheim came out and being away since Kamigawa set booster boxes are the best, but set collectors are close but still too overpriced. Stefo says, Dustin, I never stopped longer than a few sets since 94. If you go to the LGS and play your 10K commander deck, they treat you other than if you play without any holy grails. Interesting. Funny to learn how people treat people. Okay, Dustin says, okay, I'm just basically reading your comments. I'm not going to do that unless you guys are asking a question. Jason, collector and set boxes are for the Timmies, just like shiny things. I just want to play. So yeah, draft boxes are the best. If you just want to play, just do draft boxes. I think they're the better bet. All right, we still have a few packs here, more than a few actually. So if anyone wants to see a pack opened up, just become a channel member or just send a super chat. Although I will say this is going to be interesting because this Dominaria pack is French, so I'm going to try to say every card in French if I open this one up. The other ones are Zendikar Rising packs. This was my last cons pack. I'm going to have to try to order some more so I can open them up on live streams. Wayne says, yeah, I don't think they will ever go to 0. The thought experiment is to show that I expect draft booster boxes to be the first to dry up and hence climb in price. Yes, because there's more reason to open them, so they will dry up more. That's what I was saying earlier. Like collector booster boxes, even though they are more limited supply, like the primer of them, most people are going to hold them sealed because that, you know, it's enticing to keep it sealed. It's collector booster boxes. It's basically telling you, hey, this is a collector's item. You should probably keep it sealed. So there's going to be a lot more of them sealed, which is going to, you know, the supply is not going to decrease the same way. Draft, especially if stores are opening up draft booster boxes that are having tournaments, there's going to be a lot less of them out there. So the supply will dry up. I like the thought experiment, Wayne. That's good. I do agree. Booger Sculptor says, you were forced to learn French until grade 9. So you should be fine, right? Not so good. Not so good. Le Mox Amber, Dustin says. That would be crazy. I've never pulled a Mox Amber. It's like the only mythic that I haven't pulled in Dominaria. I've pulled every other mythic. I've pulled Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, like 5 times. I've never pulled the Mox Amber. So maybe there is just less of those Mox Ambers out there. Maybe that's maybe they specifically underprinted that card as they do most Moxes. Like the old Lotus, like the Jeweled Lotus is the one that they definitely printed a lot less of those. If you've ever opened up Commander Legends, it's very hard to get a Jeweled Lotus. Stefo says, that makes sense to me that the draft boxes will be the most wanted. Oh, 100%. I did a draft at a bar recently with a few friends on a patio. And yeah, like when I was getting some booster packs, at my LGS, I was like, well, what am I going to draft? And first, for whatever reason, I thought I like opening set booster packs. I was going to grab them. I was like, wait, what am I doing? This is for draft. Like, I need to open up the draft booster boxes, like boosters. That's what they're there for. And the more people who actually play the game, it just makes sense that there's gonna be less supply out there if you're opening up a lot of draft, boxes to play. Because yeah, it makes way more sense. It makes way more sense. High Five says set collector boxes could be better instead of having 12 rares / mythics from the commander precon. They replace one of the slots, so you get 24. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, Wayne, we got a super chat. Okay, update, equipment update, Wonga. All right. So what do you say? Should we do the Dominaria? Should I try to butcher French, or should we do some Zendikar Rising? Let me know in the chat, Wayne. Thanks for the super chat. It really means a lot. Gonna definitely get a new computer by the end of this year. Your choice. Oof. You know what? Let's do a Zendikar Rising. Let's do a Zendikar Rising. Okay. We got a Resolute Strike here, an Ardent Electromancer. We got a Deliberate, a Blood Price. And then we got a Kazandu Necropot, a Spare Supplies, Scale the Heights, Shepherd of Heroes, Nimana Sky Dancer, Cleric of Chill Depths, a Skyclave. Plunder is our first uncommon. Our second uncommon is Brushfire Elemental. Actually, I really like this card in Limited. We have a Sagiri Shelter as our last uncommon. And what is our rare or mythic? Ooh, it's the Crab, isn't it? 017. Yeah, we got Cherix the Raging Isle. I think this is, you can get a promo of this in, I think it's the bundle they give you, a promo of this, another with different artwork. Sorry, guys. Computer crash, just got back on. Oh, no worries, David, no worries. And then we obviously have our full art land there. Oh, well. It is kind of interesting card, though. 017. Yeah, I don't get too much luck with Zendikar Rising, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I do not get much luck. But either way, that was really fun to open. Thanks, Wayne. That's awesome. Jason says, well, on that note, it was funny how the market took so long to get right prices for old school sealed. If you played back then, you understand how little it was printed, even if they didn't disclose the numbers. 100%. They stopped disclosing them, I believe, like around the Fallen, like just after Fallen Empires, they stopped disclosing them. But the information is still not 100% accurate for the later sets after the Four Horsemen. But yeah, they used to disclose all of them. It's just like, newer, sets and newer games like MetaZoo. Usually in the beginning, I feel like they're more open to telling, their fan base that. Now, good luck. But yeah, there's definitely a lot less printed for sure. And just imagine how many of them have already been opened up. How many of these booster boxes are still sealed? How many of them are actually like have no tearing on the wrapping? You're looking at a very, very small number of boxes. Booger Sculptor says, does anyone ever give you crap for snapping the cards when you place them down? Yes, actually, yeah, I have. You know what the thing is, though? I love the sound of that snap. I know some people hate that. It depends on the card. I usually don't do that with mythics or rares, but usually when I'm placing the cards down, if it's like the common uncommons in a set like Zendikar Rising, yeah. I don't think it's really that much of a big deal. Stefo says, since all new fancy cards are getting into sleeves instantly, there's not really a need to open packs for pack fresh condition. In the 90th, it was different. In the 90s, yeah, 100%. It was a little different. People, they didn't think that way back then. Dustin says, yeah, I got like 6 Cherix bundle cards. Yep, it was in the bundles. I was right. I think it's $1, though. Yeah, it might be $1. Let's see. Maybe you are right. I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting card, though. But maybe you mean the bundle version specifically is $1? Yeah. It looks like the price difference between them. No, it's like 25-cent card. The promo version of the card is about 70 cents, a little more, close to $1. But it looks like the extended art version is around $1. So the extended art one's $1. But yeah, pretty. I guess, yeah, that's basically a bulk rare. I'd say it's a bulk rare. Snapping the cards equals handling them correctly. Yeah, we used to put a rubber band around our 93, 94 decks. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's rough. It's what happened, though. People just throw their cards in their pocket. They didn't even start like making deck cases until later on. And then Ultra Pro got into the game, and they really started trying to get sleeves and everything else in there. I don't know. I had a real picky guy buy 2 cards I opened and sleeved pack fresh on Card Sphere, open a complaint on me. Yikes. That sucks. Angelo says, greetings from Los Angeles. Wow. How do you like living in LA right now? Do you guys getting any more forest fires? Yeah, that was pretty rough last year. But thanks for joining this live stream, Angelo. Wayne says, here's something interesting. The modern market movers items extended arts seem to jump more than the standard versions. Yeah, well, because they're only like limited to the collector boxes. So that kind of makes sense. I might, from now on, that's something I've actually been missing on the market movers. I should bring that data into mind when I'm doing any more of the market movers for cards that have extended art versions or alternate art versions of it, so people can get an understanding of which cards are moving first on the market. So let's say if there is a spike for a card, but for whatever reason, like the extended art version hasn't really caught up with the regular version yet, if I include that in there, maybe someone can get to that card before it spikes up in price and get a good deal on TCG Player. Dustin says, how are you liking cards here, Matt? Have you tried it yet? Yeah, I've tried it out. It's interesting. I haven't bought anything yet from there, but I like it. I haven't really decided to sell anything quite yet. I still like Facebook Marketplace for that. Personally, I live in Toronto, which is a big city, so there's a big enough pool of people that like to buy, sell, and trade cards here. So it's pretty easy for me to sell Magic cards. Like, there's a lot of interest in Magic cards in my city too. So if I sell, buy, and trade, Facebook Marketplace, I find it's the best deals. Wayne says, so collector cards will have premiums in the future. High five. Imagine seeing someone playing with their Magic cards like they would a regular playing cards. Yeah, that'd be well, especially like older cards. Ooh, that'd be crazy. If I saw someone like just alpha and beta cards, just like just playing them like they're poker cards, that shuffle, ooh, that would make my skin crawl. Between Dritz and Kaleen, which one is more powerful? Is this the legendary creatures? I would say Dritz. Perfect weather. That's nice. Good to hear. Good to hear you guys are getting good weather now. Stephos, was it him? Was it? Matt, serious question from David here. When you do market movers, where do you get most of your info from? So I get my info from MTG Stocks and MTG Goldfish. Those are my 2 sources. There is a website where it's information. It gives you information on set info, but mostly just for the earlier sets. Let me see if I can give you the exact URL for that. Yeah, so there is a site called mtginformation.com, and it'll show you talk about the reserve list. It shows counterfeits. There's articles and print runs is the source that I use the most for this website in particular. But those are the 3 main sources that I use. Sometimes I'll use MTG top 8 to do deeper dive into decks and you know, the meta, like, you know, especially for the weekend winner videos when I talk about, you know, what percentage, you know, if there's a certain deck, how much of the modern meta or standard meta is this deck making up? MTG top 8 is really good for that. So I'll use MTG top 8, MTG Goldfish, MTG information on .com, and MTG stocks, and yeah, that's pretty much all I'll use. Sometimes I'll use eBay as well, but that's on a rare occasion. And TCG Player, obviously, for like, you know, pricing cards for the random buys. Ah, okay, I see, Dustin. Yeah. Okay. Well, right now we actually hit over an hour in time. Okay, let's get through these comments and we'll keep it going for a bit. We'll keep it going for a bit. Happy to chat with you guys. Wayne says, I haven't seen any examples of it being that way yet. The extended always moves first and further. Yeah, that's true most of the time, but sometimes, I don't know. It's hard to say. Usually the extended moves first. Usually it does. David Drizzt was way more powerful for sure. That's the way I feel too from the newer set. Dustin, but the nice thing is disputes over condition or a third-party site employee steps in to the messaging between seller and buyer. Nice. Okay, so it's better than eBay. And they can adjust the sell price and conditioning. Stefo says, for me, there are too many variances for one card around. Meanwhile, standard foil, borderless foil showcase, with or without foils, pre-release promos, and promos with or without. Sketch Edge. Yep. All right. Just over an hour now. I hope you guys are okay with the earlier time for this live stream. I just want to make sure I had some free time later in the day. I usually try to aim for about 4:45, 4:30, sometimes 5 o'clock, Canadian, you know, Eastern time. But I just want to do a little earlier today, just so I can talk to you guys in Europe. I know most of the people in the chat are from Europe, as it is in the evening there now. Dustin says, remember, Matt, the last box I got from the same seller had a near mint Cavern of Souls just chilling in the land cards. Yeah, and that is, what is it, around $90, $100 right now for that land? So, yeah. I know, I'm excited. I'm really excited to open that up. That's going to be crazy. Hopefully, just imagine if it's like the ultimate. Like it's the best box that you've gotten, and I happen to open on the channel. It's going to be exciting. Jason says, do you think the variance is going to cause a burnout? Yeah, well, there's too many versions, especially for collectors who are trying to figure out what they want to collect. I feel like eventually the more desirable cards are just going to be the regular versions because people are just going to be kind of fed up with all the variants, unless it's like specific art that they like that almost looks like a secret layer card. I don't know. It's hard to say. High Fives, I'll admit it though, the etch foils are my favorite variant. Interesting. You mean from the? I like the etch foils from the Commander Legends cards, not so much for Modern Horizons 2 though. Dustin says he separated the first two boxes by uncommon / common / rares mostly, but they were several cards of value peppered in. Wayne says that's a really interesting question. At Jason, well, I'll let you guys have that combo. Yeah, wow, I'm surprised how little views my Sunday video is doing. Interesting. So maybe Sunday Sealed is not the best name for this. Oh well. What's done is done. There's nothing more to do. We all know how I feel about Modern Horizons 2 Etched. Yep. Yes, we do, Wayne. Yes, we do. Undervalued. Dustin Burns says some of the etched foils I like. A lot of the etched foils I find are a little dark for my taste. Yeah, some of them, they're just a little too dark. The retro ones, especially. David Solari says there are pros and cons to variants. On the other hand, they are fresh and eye-catching. On another, some cards are literally more or less expensive based upon type of art. High Five says for Modern Horizons 2 etch foils, mainly the basic lands, the gritty foil makes the card look solid. Booger Sculptor says, I think the variance of Modern Horizons 2 was just to test the waters and see what the players like and disliked. I can see that. It's like market research, yeah. Jason says, was interesting to see that people love the retro frames. It didn't feel right when they changed the frame in 8th edition. Yeah, but, you know, in a way I'm glad they did because it just makes the older retro ones just that much more desirable. Like, I always loved the old retro, fetch lands from Onslaught. They just looked so cool. And now you can kind of match with them a little bit with the, retro frames of the new fetch lands. Long weekend, low views. Yeah, that's true for Canadians. You're right. Yeah, but I mean, like most of the viewers of my channel are not Canadian. But no, that's true. That's true. That is true. That is true. That is true. Fair point. Fair point. We're getting a lot more comments here. My voice is getting getting a little dry reading all these in the basement. Tyler says, I wish the foiling was consistent. Some of the retro foils have the art and some don't. Yeah, it's kind of weird the way they did that. It seems like it was a bit rushed. Wayne says, I would not read too much into the stats from a week-to-week basis. You need to have a larger data set before any statistical proof can be determined. Yeah, so maybe next week I'll do another Sunday Sealed. And I'll try that for at least another 2 weeks, see how the data comes back, the analytics. If because it is kind of a long weekend, maybe that's why there's a bit of a view drop off for that video specifically. But I can figure that out later. Blue Ridge Silverhand says, that's all right. Just upload your regular market singles video today, or is it too late in the day to get it ready? Well, usually so let's say if it's the Monday video, I would have to wait for the prices to change like Sunday night, and then I will do my video on Monday. So all the data that I get are basically done that day. So if I gather the data now, it would be for Saturday. So that's not going to be doable for me. But I can't really schedule those videos. I guess the best way of saying I can schedule other videos. The market movers, I have to do them the day of, unfortunately. Stephos Oniger, imagine that there are people trying to get a copy of every variance of each card in each language. It's overwhelming to succeed in time until the next set appears. Oh yeah, especially now with all the variants, 100%. That would be really hard to do, and a lot of money, very costly. Silent Hill says, hello, Matt. How do you compare first Modern Horizons to the latest one? Do you have your own fetch land set? Yes, I do have my own fetch land set. So I like Modern Horizons 2 more, but Modern Horizons 1, I still think was a really good set. It was just a little bit, as a modern player, I think it led to a lot of bans. And I know a lot of modern players will agree with me on that. That was kind of a downer. But overall, I think the set was really good. It was just a shame that some of the cards were a little too overpowered, kind of shook up the market a lot, and led to a lot of bans, like Urza for sure is one of those cards. Napalm says, I have been really bullish with Modern Horizons 2. Glad to see some prices adjust, though. Looking at your Cabal coffers. Yeah, it's that one's really taking a beating. Dustin says, Perp had a video on that, the art ideas quiz, asking people about what they like. There was some wild art in their survey. David says, quick, someone get Matt some water in a Claro septic. His voice is going. Yeah, I don't think the Cherry Radler helps either, though. Waterloo, that's a small city, town in Ontario, close to me. These are basically, they're 2%. They're not even really beer. I just drink these because I like the flavor. But maybe the alcohol in that is making my voice a little hoarse too. Probably doesn't help. I don't think alcohol helps. IIRC TCG player releases the data in JSON format. Yeah, you can script pulling out movers. Now, can I see some of that if I don't have? So if I right click and do inspect, and when I get all the code for a website on the side, will that kind of give me any hidden data? Do you know about that, Wayne? I think you know. You may do coding. I'm not a coder, but I'm just curious. Jason B says, love the market movers and was cool to see. Also, does you guys use Text Wrangler at all? Do you know that program? Love to see the market movers and was cool to see a sealed one today. I have so many old cards. Your mover vids make me dig up those cards because I had no idea they were so much. That's always a nice feeling when you have no idea what your collection's worth. That's always fun. A lot of these videos have helped me as well when I'm going through the data and I'm pulling out cards. Booger Sculptor, any Toronto-based LGS you recommend? For sealed products and singles, I'd say 4-1 games, but for events, if you want to go and play events and everything, I would say face-to-face games. Those would be my 2 recommendations. Dustin says, yes, your market movers videos always have me looking at different cards or buying them. Yeah. Hopefully you're not spending too much. Well, at least you're buying the correct cards. Stephos says, thanks for the chat. I will leave now. See ya. Oh, thanks, Stephos, for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. David, alcohol helps everything, Matt, temporarily. That's true. And then the next day, not so much. Not so much the next day. Wayne, lead full stack developer is what I do for a living. Lead full stack developer. Yes, that gives you the console and you have access to everything in the web page domain. Yeah, right. Okay, because interesting. I'm gonna hit that right now. I just want to see what I'm gonna inspect this website. Okay, so it gives me like a bit of a dev script. I can kind of see how they piece this together. This is HTML. So the website I'm looking at is HTML. I think that's for all websites, though, right? Or can you use JavaScript for that? Head. Okay. Head, body, direction, LTR, and quotations. Interesting. How long did it take you to learn code? Booger Sculptor says Scryfall, I believe, has a link to the JSON files. So I'm just adjusting my seat here. High Five says energy drink plus high alcohol volume equals fun. Sometimes too much. Yeah. Well, the Red Bull and vodka thing, that was a huge, for a while. That was like really popular. And then it started giving some people heart attacks. Some people were like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not the greatest. David says, same. Dustin on market movers. I do at least look up the trend and buy myself. Home run with the movers, Matt. Love the show. Well, thank you. That's probably the one that I will not retire ever. Well, that and the thrift store random buys. Those are the 2 videos that really keep this channel going. Like without those videos, I don't really know what my channel would be at. It'd be I would be in a different place probably right now. Silent Hill says, do you have any thoughts about MTG's future? Price of draft boxes will increase. I think Hasbro pumps too many products, and because of the virus, there were not too many opportunities to play Magic. Yeah, they definitely pumped out too much product for being locked down and everything. But you know what? People bought them, right? There's not a lot of people just trying to dump their products in the market. As long as people are holding on to what they've purchased, I don't think there's going to be that much of an influx of product, which would lead to a drop in price because there's going to be more supply. So as long as people hold on to their cards, I think it's okay. But you never know. Some people are definitely fed up with Wizard of the Coast and the way they've been handling Magic lately. Wayne says, I started AMR assembler back in the 90s. HTML plus JavaScript for the basics can be done in a month. What do you think about Python? I know that's more for AI, but apparently that's the hardest. Dustin says, I too wonder how many return sets can they do. Yeah, the return, yeah. Especially for Ravnica, that's Rudy's big joke, right? If you have Skype, I can go through some things with you, and then I can pick your brains on YouTube stuff. Interesting. I don't have Skype on this computer. I have it on my work computer, though. But I do have Discord. Wayne, are you on my Discord? I think you're on my Discord. Is there any way to do like phone chat, video chat on there? I'm not sure. I'm definitely not on Discord enough. Eric, hey, how's it going, buddy? Easy Heim. Wayne says Python has its place, mostly university kids. Yeah, that's true. My buddy, he teaches video game design, and he uses Python a bit. Booger Sculptor says Python is the easiest. Very plain English used in it. TensorFlow add-on for Python is for machine learning, etc. Zeem. Ezeem. Okay, so that's how you pronounce it. Zeem. Wayne says, I would use Python for games. I wouldn't use Python for games, you're saying. Yeah, I wonder if there's some other platform he uses for that. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. He teaches at Fanshawe College. High Five says Magic is like a gotcha game now. All they need to do here is have Magic Gathering Arena on consoles and put QR codes or code cards in the packs for digital cards. Yeah, Pokemon's been doing that for a while. David says, have you thought about doing more traditional shows like openings during the week? I know your normal job wears you down. Yeah, I mean, I want to do more opening stuff, and maybe you mean more live streams during the week, like some opening stuff. Yeah, I could. My job definitely wears me down. It takes a bit of energy. Even though I do it from home, it definitely takes a lot of energy. I don't know. But when it comes to like opening stuff, it's really pricey. Like I want to open more stuff. Ideally, I would like to open at least have 3 openings on my channel a week. I usually only end up doing 1 because it's pricey getting my hands on stuff to open for the channel. And a lot of the stuff I like to keep sealed as investables too. So I'm very picky about what I'm going to open up. But sometimes it makes for a good video. So I just make sure I buy everything I'm going to open up. I don't want to go into my collection and the stuff that I already have sealed for long-term holding. I'm going to keep that sealed. But if I do, I mean, I don't know. My channel's doing well. The last week or so, my channel's been doing well. I don't know how long it's going to last because I know there's ebbs and flows. But for now, yeah, I could definitely use some of that to buy a bit more stuff, sealed stuff to open on the channel. It'll be fun. Dustin says, thoughts on Jumpstart historic cards? Yeah, I haven't even touched that subject yet. I don't know. That's a lot. It's a lot for me to say. I might try to condense it into a video later and talk about it for Monday. Monday, it's a holiday, so I have the day off. So because I have the day off, I might spend a few hours doing a bit of research and then maybe doing a video or 2 to schedule it for either later on Monday or on Tuesday or something. But I'm definitely going to film a few videos tomorrow because I have the day off. So I want to make sure I'm doing something with the time. Because I like to get usually 2 videos in a day is like what I like to do. Like 1 market movers and something else. I feel like Wizards Coast is trolling the consumers with prices on Amazon, like FOMO deals. Not a complaint, just an observation. I think it's fatiguing players and customers. Yeah. Because some people it's just, they're wired that way. They see deals for something that, it's a collectible that could have, upward movement, and they'll just buy, right? Coach is in the house. Glad to have you on board, buddy. What's up, all? Can you do another Modern Horizons 2 collector box for people to buy packs? Yeah, I probably could. I think my LGS hasn't changed the price, so I could probably do that. Why not? Yeah, I know a lot of people are still looking to buy packs of Modern Horizons 2, so yeah, I'm definitely on board for that. Maybe I'll make an announcement on my community tab on YouTube, and I'll see how much interest there is off the bat, and then I can take it from there. Dustin Burns says, that's why I sent the box to you, Matt. Exactly. That way you can go through all of them for me for free. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I am sending the back, and I am getting to keep, from what I understand, I get to keep at least the bulk, and then like any dollar card or $1 I'm hoping there is a lot of value in there for you, so it makes it worth it. I think it's gonna be worth it. I think it's gonna be a good video. I love random buys, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think Magic the Gathering should be 3 normal sets and 1 specialty set per year. Yeah, like a Modern Horizons, like a Masters set, something like that. Yeah. Isn't that kind of like what they did before? I swear they released more products in the last couple of years. David says there is a Modern Horizons 2 collector booster box for $320. Would you like me to grab it and send it to you for your subs and patrons to purchase? That would be really good. I'm trying to think. Before you do that, I just want to make sure if I can get a better deal here, I don't want you to have to spend your money. Just because I think my LGS might. It's because the conversion rate right now is not so good. Let me just check quickly. Thanks though, David. Like, that's really amazing. Let me just double check. No, I don't know if it's gonna be worth it, because right now I could still get a box for about $450 plus tax, and I don't have to cover shipping or anything like that. I could just pick it up at my LGS. It's not too far away from me, and I think if I convert that, let me just get out my calculator here. So if you were to get it for $320, that would equal $399 Canadian, but then plus tax, unless you're already including tax. So add on 10%. And let's say shipping is going to cost you $15. Actually, I don't know. Maybe that is a good. Okay, never mind, David. That's actually, I think maybe that is a better deal. How much would that cost in shipping? I can send you the money for the box. Yeah, actually, that is a pretty good deal. $320. Shit, that is a good deal. Dustin says, oh yeah, you're going to have a ton of good playables. Oh yeah, for sure. I love making pauper decks too. That's something I need to do. I have a few pauper decks I wanted to do tutorials for. I also wanted to do a few commander deck tutorials. One is an Dragon deck, which I think is really, now is even more exciting. People want to add on to that, with Tiamat. There's a lot of good dragons from Dungeons and Dragons that could be added into the deck, but I'd like to show you what I have, and maybe people can chime in and say what they would like to see replaced in that deck, or how they think my deck would operate. If they think there's a better version that they can make out of a pool of cards. The Smart LGS would price new sealed product at $10 less than the other LGS, since 2 weeks after release, Wizard of the Coast will have new sealed products at $20 less on Amazon. Yeah, that's true. Amazon here in Canada isn't so cheap. Some of the deals that the States gets is way better than anything here. Wayne says Scryfall has an API with prices. Coach says it's probably like a $12 extra shipping to Canada. Yeah. No, it's that, like, doing the math now, I think it's a better deal. I was just worried because I know the conversion, the American dollar has been doing pretty strong lately, and the Canadian dollar has been kind of, not doing so good, especially in the last month. So be $340 after taxes. Don't worry about shipping. I will take care of that for you. Are you sure? Let me see what that is. What is $340? $340. So that'll cost me $424.57. So round that off to $425. That's not a bad deal. Yeah, David, do you have my email? I think you have my email. It is in my description, but it is mtgrobinson@gmail.com. Get in contact with there, and I can send you the funds for that box so I can open up on the channel for patrons and stuff. That'd be really cool, and I can sell some packs, maybe do something fun. I'll do a fun opening with it. And Coach, there you go. He already says he'd take at least one pack from the box. 2 or 3 if needed. I'll see. Yeah, I should be able to get enough people who are interested in packs. It is the best set, in my opinion, this year, for sure. Okay, thanks, David. Means a lot. Wow, that's awesome. Look at that. I'm already planning new videos. Thank you. You guys are the best. You guys really are the best. Okay, so this is going on for about an hour and a half now. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to call it now. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to get ready, and I'm going to try to get something going today. Thank you all so much for joining this chat. I really love, chatting with everyone on Sundays, and guys in the chat. You guys are amazing, really. You guys are awesome. And I guess I will see you guys tomorrow for Magic the Gathering Market Movers, and I will get to that email with you, David, shortly. And yeah, we'll chat there.